Good morning. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sherry and I had gastric bypass. Tomorrow it will be 18 months ago. So anyway, I wanted to do a little story time with you guys while I do my morning walk. Yes, I'm in my backyard walking. I like to walk in my yard because I have chronic conditions, and if I get tired, I can just stop and go inside. And I live in the country, so if I decided to go walk on the road and I got really tired, that would be a problem. Anyway, story time. How I spent my Thanksgiving weekend in the hospital having emergency surgery. Okay, so I also work full-time from home at a desk job, and I worked all day on Friday, and I was feeling fine. Then after work, my stomach started hurting. So, I thought it's probably trapped gas, or I just need to go to the bathroom or something. So, also, if I don't eat every couple hours, I don't feel so good. So, I forced myself to eat a little bit of dinner. So, I had some leftover turkey, and I really had to force it because my stomach was hurting really bad. Like, it was feeling like labor contractions, except the pain was like up high in my stomach, radiating down like towards my belly button. So anyway, I thought it was trapped gas. So I drank some peppermint tea, and it wasn't helping. Normally peppermint tea, I don't know if you know much about peppermint tea, but it relaxes your digestive muscles, and it helps with gas. So it can let it out and everything is hunky-dory. Well, it was not helping. So I went to the bathroom, number 2, several times during this whole thing, and it was not helping. Matter of fact, I feel like it was getting worse. So I was like going back and forth from the toilet to my bed, and I was like just trying not to cry, breathing through it like labor pains. And my oldest daughter, who's almost 12, and my youngest daughter, who's almost 3, were just in there trying to comfort me, and they were scared, what's happening to mommy? So eventually I was like, okay, now I gotta do something about this. This isn't normal, and I had gastric bypass, so this could be something really serious, right? So I went out to the living room where my husband was, and I said, so are you taking me to the hospital, or are you gonna call squad? And he said neither. He was getting ready to go to work because he works third shift, and he thinks I'm a hypochondriac. So he didn't think I needed to go. So I went back to my room, and I was like, no, this isn't normal. So I called the squad myself. So squad came, checked me out. My vitals were all good. And they took me to the hospital, a hospital I've actually never been to before. And it was a really nice one. Way nicer than the other 2 I usually go to. So anyway, they did a CT scan and found out that my bowels were twisted. So everything was not fine. I was not being a hypochondriac. I had a freaking twisted bowel, which apparently can be a complication of gastric bypass. Because after you lose a bunch of weight, your intestines can slip into places that they should not be. So they called my surgeon and sent him the CT scans. And so he told them to go ahead and send me to Akron Hospital, which is where I had my surgery, so he could do an exploratory surgery on me. So this was Friday night. I had to wait for several hours for a clean bed at the Akron Hospital, so I just stayed at the hospital I was at, and several hours. And I was trying to do this all without pain. Like, they were offering me morphine and fentanyl and I was kind of freaked out by both of them. I was like, you know, morphine, people can overdose on that and die. Fentanyl is a street drug and people can overdose on that and die. So I was like, I don't really want to do either one of those, so I'm just going to try to deal with the pain. But eventually I was just exhausted at this point. You know, it's like when you've been in labor for hours and you just can't take it anymore. You just want the epidural so you can sleep. That's what I was going through. So eventually I was just like, okay, go ahead and give me the morphine. So she mixed it with saline, so it was like a smaller dose. And she injected it really slow. And even though she injected it slow, it hit me hard and fast. Like, I got dizzy and I started like mumbling incoherently. It was funny. But yeah, it helped. I'm actually glad I took it. It let me get some rest. So anyway, then I got transferred to Akron. And by this time it was like, I want to say like 3 in the morning or so. So, yeah, they just put me directly in a room. So that's when you know that they think it's serious, is when they put you in directly into a room. So then, a little while later, a doctor came in and told me that he was going to try to get me on the schedule for just like a couple hours for exploratory surgery, which I know God was with me through this whole thing, because I have horrible anxiety and this whole thing was not even making me anxious. Like, I felt at peace. I just knew that there was something wrong and it needed to be fixed, but I wasn't feeling anxious and I wasn't scared of having surgery either. So I'm very grateful to God for that, for keeping me calm and feeling at peace. So, they did the surgery and I stayed at the hospital. Let's see, I had the surgery on Saturday morning and I left Sunday late morning. They were actually going to let me go on Saturday night. They said I was fine to go home after surgery. And I was like, I have 4 kids. I don't want to go home. They're like, okay, well, you can stay if you feel like you need to stay. Yeah. You know? It's pretty sad that moms have to get their abdomen cut open to get anything resembling a vacation. No, I love my kids, but you know, momming is hard. My cheeks are getting cold. Normally I'd be wearing a hat and gloves right now, but I didn't think I'd need it because it's a little bit warmer today than it was yesterday. So anyway, where was I? I don't usually hold my phone out the whole time I'm talking. This is making me tired. Okay, let's see. So yeah, after I was allowed to get up, I was trying to get up and do a couple laps around my hall unit, like every hour or 2, you know, because I was trying to avoid blood clots. Also, according to my blood work, I'm anemic. So that explains why I've been so exhausted lately. Like, I've just been so exhausted. And that explains it. So I gotta up my iron. But anyway, the doctor, my gastric bypass surgeon, the same surgeon who actually did my surgery, he came to see me before I left. He was actually really busy before. He had other surgeries to do, so he couldn't see me until the day I left. So he told me he's never seen what happened to me before. Never heard of it happening. So I'm unique, a freak of science. So apparently there's 2 areas that he had to sew up so that my intestines don't slip into them. So yeah, other than feeling kind of like a stuffed animal, like my abdomen feels like a stuffed animal, like I have stuffing in there. Other than that, my incisions being a little bit sore and my back hurting, just like general muscle soreness, I don't feel that bad. Although I did only work half a day on Monday. It's funny because my boss was like, why didn't they let you stay at the hospital? I was like, well, they said I was okay to come home. So anyway, I worked until lunch the first day and I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was ready to break down and cry. I was so tired and I was in pain. So I clocked out and I emailed my boss. I was like, I'm not coming back after lunch. I do not feel well at all. So she was very understanding. And yesterday I worked my full first day of work being back. So that was tiring. I didn't feel awful, just really, really tired. So let's see. Yeah, so Saturday morning, today's Thursday. Saturday morning it will have been a week since my surgery. And I feel like I'm recovering pretty well. But yeah, that's how I spent my Thanksgiving weekend. I hope you all had a great time with your families and you ate some really yummy food and made some good memories. And I am going to finish my walk and go eat breakfast, and then I gotta go to work. So anyway, if you actually took the time to listen to my story this far, I appreciate you. And I hope that you enjoy this holiday season. I'm looking forward to doing some baking. The other night I was making a list of things that I want to bake on my days off. You know, that way the time doesn't slip by and I don't miss anything. So I'm going to be trying some new recipes this year. And it'll be fun. Can you see my breath smoking? Nope. Can't see it on camera. Anyway, I love you guys and I will see you in the next one.